Welcome to part 2 of this 2015 Chevy Silverado 1500 5.3 engine replacement. This truck only had 53,000 miles on it, and the engine failed. Looks like the oil pump failed, or the solenoid, something failed within oil pressure. So that's what happens. It's nothing that the owner did wrong. It's just parts fail, and this is one of those times where something failed and there was nothing he could do to avoid it. So earlier today, me and my friend, we actually pulled an all-nighter the other day and pulled this engine out just to get that out of the way. And this morning I went to the local junkyard, J&T, and got a shirt. Got a few shirts actually. Shout out to J&T in Marion, North Carolina. If you ever need any kind of parts for trucks, SUVs, they specialize in it. They have tons of parts, like you name it. They have everything. So this engine here only has 37,000 miles on it. This is the way it came. I picked it up. It has the headers on it, so we're not even going to swap the headers over or anything like that. It's only got 37,000 miles on it, so I'm thinking even to just run those spark plugs. I might pull one or two just to look at it and see what it looks like. But what we're gonna do today, it's already like 6 p.m. But what the goal is today is to put the motor mounts on, swap a few things over, remove this water pump completely, and possibly this guy here, because pulling that engine out is pretty tight, and we just don't want to have any issues. So we're gonna remove it and swap everything over that we can, and go ahead and set it back into the engine bay. Today's Monday, so hopefully by the end of tomorrow this thing will be running and driving, hopefully. That way we can return it back to Mike. He's still camping this week in the North Carolina mountains here. He extended his stay just because we told him we'll get him back on the road as soon as possible. So I'd like to get this thing knocked out so I can move on to my projects. It looks like they did remove the flywheel, so we'll swap that over as well. But I guess that's enough talking. Let's get to work. Stop moving. J&T Auto Parts, Marion. Flawless engines. So what, you gotta swap a few things over here and there, like the crank sensor was missing. They cut the studs off the header on this side, so we swapped that over. Still need the fuel rail sensor, and we're swapping over the motor mount. What's happening?
Just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we're putting Loctite and everything, so we don't want things to come apart. Yeah, this motor mount still needs to be bolted down. Also the vacuum pump, and we went ahead and removed the water pump and everything and the brackets. But we're gonna remove the balancer, but I forgot the pulley, or the puller, so we're just gonna send it with it on, which is cool. If we can fit it in there with that being on, it's better not to remove it. So we're gonna try that out and see what happens. Oh, and flywheel we had to swap over. So things are looking up. In about 10 minutes we're gonna be setting this thing back into the engine bay. I put a shim underneath the transmission so it's lifted up back to where it needs to be. So once we drop it in, we're gonna plug all the wire. Once we drop it in, we're gonna plug all the wiring in and then connect it to the transmission. Looking good. Check that out. Yo, it's working. Wow. Alright, so we got the used engine in from J&T, and it's a nice color shirt, dude. It's in there. We've got it bolted to the transmission. We've got the motor mounts. We didn't tighten, we just started 3 bolts on each side. So tomorrow is just assembly, and hopefully we'll get it running tomorrow and test drive it.
Yep, everything underneath connected.
All the wires connected?
Yeah, for the most part.
Most of them. We just gotta hit up those 7 grounds. There's like 7 grounds on this engine. It's insane. And then I'm gonna buy some supplies tomorrow. I'm gonna buy a couple gaskets, spark plugs, oil, filter, all the good stuff. So it'll be like a brand new truck when it's done. Stay tuned, right?
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so tomorrow. Alright, back at it. This is day 3 of this engine replacement. And I gotta say, I think we're doing pretty good. Obviously, we're not working on it full time, but we're doing it like after 5 or 6 p.m. So, picked up a bunch of supplies, oil, coolant, gaskets, filters, spark plugs, you name it. It's all there. Spent like a little bit over 300 bucks, but that way this is gonna be a fresh engine, and Mike, the owner of this truck, is not gonna have to worry about any kind of maintenance on the engine for a long time. So besides like oil changes, but it's gonna have fresh coolant. Everything's gonna be replaced. So right now, guess I'm gonna continue. I've got the motor mounts already started. I got all 6 bolts, 3 on each side started. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten those down, and then continue routing the wiring and stuff like that. So everything goes back in place, and then put the intake on, put the new spark plugs back in, and get the exhaust from the bottom. It's not much left, so hopefully in the next, I'd say about 2 hours, it's gonna be ready to crank. So let's get to work. All right, so I can go ahead and reinstall the water pump assembly. I picked up new gaskets for that, and then this bracket that holds the AC compressor and the alternator. So I've got new gaskets here. They're like $5 a piece or something. I'm sure you could reuse them. They're metal, but they're cheap enough to replace. I don't want to have to do this again. So there's a part number for that. I believe they're both the same. There's a left and right, but they're both the same. There's just 2 of them. So new gaskets, water pump assembly, and then I can go ahead and bolt the AC back on. Remember, we didn't drain it, we just disconnected it and had it laying there to the side. That way we don't have to refill the AC. And what else? Then the alternator can go, and then I guess the intake, plug everything in, put the belt on, fill it with fluids, and that's pretty much it. Very close to finish. Alright, so I got the gaskets on the water pump, and I think that's gonna be the easiest way to go. Just to make sure you don't pinch any wires. Line up the holes. Start it by hand. or you can just do it with an impact. Just kidding. You always want to start your bolts by hand so you don't strip them. Just work it each side. Next, we have this huge bracket. So it looks like I'm gonna leave it loose for now. Going in. Boom. Like a glove. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, belt's on. Now, a couple more things here, and then the airbox can go on. A little vacuum hoses, and then I have the spark plugs out right now. What I'm planning to do is, before I put the airbox on, I want to turn the engine over a few times just in case if there's something in there it can fly out. You know, you never know. So then after that, after I turn it over, I'm gonna put new plugs in, spark plugs in, plug in the spark plug wires, and we should be good to go then. So very close, very close. Issue. Thought I was done, but totally forgot to put insulation underneath the intake, and I'm not gonna let that slide. So 10 bolts, gonna remove the intake one last time, put the insulation under there. It's gonna be like noise reduction, and also I guess so animals can't get in there and make a nest. So I don't want to not put it back in. So here we go. I'm not gonna record this part, but intake's coming back out, insulation's going in, and then intake's back in, and then the fan goes back in, fluids, we're gonna turn it over without spark plugs, put plugs in it, and send it. So 3 more. I'm going with the Castrol Edge 020. And I already got the new oil filter on and everything. The plug is tight. So oil, coolant, and we're gonna turn that key. Just remember there's no spark plugs yet. So I'm gonna turn it once or twice, and then put the new plugs in, and then put the airbox on, and we're good to roll. That's about 8 quarts. I'll double check it after it runs. Engine's completely dry. So once it idles for a little bit, I'll turn it off and check it again. I like to double check my level like a bunch of times, make sure it's all good. It's pretty important. Put the cap on for now. I always leave the tag on the dipstick until last thing because this is like a reminder to put oil in it. I know some people that forget to put oil in their engines after installation, so you don't want to be that guy. We're gonna drive this home. Yeah, because I want to wash the engine bay at my house in the morning. Alright, no spark plugs, first crank. You ready? Like, is it gonna run? Is it not? How does it sit right here? It doesn't?
That's it.
That's it?
I guess.
There's no bracket on the other side? What side is this one?
I think it's labeled L left.
Oh, I thought it was L for loser.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go. Where's the... Mike's gonna be so excited, dude.
Which one?
Both of them. I'm gonna go ahead and clear all the codes. Make sure no codes come back. ECM, engine control, no fault, everything's clearing. Battery might be a little weak, so we'll have to clear the codes again probably. It may trigger some low voltage or something like that, but once this clears, we can go ahead and try to start it. We already primed the oil by turning the engine a couple of times without the plugs, so oil pressure should be good. But I guess let's see. Yep, no codes. Okay, let's go ahead and start it. She runs. We got oil pressure showing over a little bit over 40. It's running good. He's got a full tank of gas. Got a hood open. Sounds good. Smokey, you did it. It runs. Runs pretty good. Take it on the drive. Alright, let's take it on the first drive with the new used engine. Used new. Huh? What'd you say? Be on standby in case you need a tow.
Okay.
Not. No, but for real though. Wow, the heat's blasting, dude, on high. Okay. Gonna have to check the transmission fluid after the drive. Just top it off. Yeah, they're super big. You like that? No lights on the dash. We are good. Can't remember the last time I drove a Chevy. My first car, however, was a Chevy. It was my first car was a 1995 Chevy Cavalier 5-speed manual. Whose Mustang is that? Look at that. Cruising down the road. Buckle up. Check codes one more time. No trouble codes. Very good. I'm gonna just take it easy for a couple miles and then give it some juice. She sounds pretty good. She sounds good. Alright, she runs and drives good. I just stopped by the house. I'm gonna go ahead and pressure wash the engine bay because that's something I like to do. Gotta make sure that it's clean. It's still smoking because it's burning off a bunch of stuff, but sounds really good. Oh, also I need to top off some coolant as well. So here's a before. All right, that looks much better. All clean. It's like a brand new truck now. So now the truck has 53,000 miles on the body and only 37,000 miles on the engine. And it's running super smooth. Everything's been replaced, no fluids, oil, everything is good to go. So this guy's not gonna have to worry about maintenance for a long time. Brand new spark plugs, new fluids, it's all fresh. So stay tuned, like and subscribe for more videos. They're not all like this. This was just something I wanted to do for a new subscriber, and hopefully Mike won't unsubscribe in the future because of my boring videos. But all right, well, until next time, later.